Kudash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabayah, meaning holy, 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 Lord of hosts. It is the prayer that the angels sing day and night to the Most High, Anu Elionel, Yah, He, Va, He, under the sacred name, Hashem, Tetragrammaton. It also could be said as a mantra and said to remove any negative ions throughout the atmosphere and the ether in time, space, and matter. And also can be used as a sound vibrational frequency the same way that it is when you light sage. Yah, He, Va, He, those 4 syllables, also a sound vibrational frequency, which make up the name, the Tetragrammaton. Yah, He, Va, He, those 4 syllables. Some people say Yahweh, some people say Yahuwah, some people say Yahweh, some people say Jehovah. But being that everything is created in duality, as above so below, you have to understand that everything works together in unison. So the first Yah signifies the Father who art in heaven, Abba, the architect of the universe, which is a divine masculine. He being a divine feminine, which would be Mother Nature, the earth, the womb of the earth, where mankind was formed, molded, and created. The nurturer, just like a woman is a nurturer, the earth is a nurturer. Va would signify a divine masculine. Divine masculine, which would be mankind itself, In the beginning, Elohim said, let us create them in our image. Basically to be a light and a reflection, So mankind was created in, the womb of the earth, Molded from the dirt, the earth, just like any, life form blossoms from the earth, Any seeds, that are planted or sown in the earth, same way as us, And back to the last, which would be a divine feminine, which would be Mother Wisdom, or Ana Chokma. Ana sounds similar to Anu. Anu meaning the Most High, but Ana means mother, wisdom. Wisdom is signifying as a her. Under the Hebrew Sephiroth and Tree of Life, it starts off Kether, Chokmah, Benah, Gedula, Jibra, Tiferet, Netzach, Ha, Yesod, Malkuth. Malkuth meaning the kingdom, the kingdom from within, because God is eternal, Kether, which would be, here, the ether, which would be signified as the pineal gland, Chokmah, which would be wisdom, Benah, which would be understanding, and so on, Tiferet, beauty, Netzach, victory, and these are all, emotional triggers and attributes within the body, the human body, and the energy fields. It also correlates with the 7 chakras, from the root chakra being red, which deals with survival and security, the next chakra, which would be orange, which would be the sacral chakra, which deals with passion and creativity. The next chakra, which would be the solar plex chakra, which would be the sun from within, which deals with personal power and confidence. The next chakra, the 4th chakra, which would be the heart chakra, which is green, and it correlates with love. 5th chakra will be the throat chakra. This is where you get your sound vibrational frequency, which deals with communication, because there's life and death in the power of the tongue, and those communications deal with wrath or kindness and duality, You could uplift somebody, or you could tear somebody down with your words, your vibrational frequency. It's an energy exchange as well, The next one would be your which would be indigo. Indigo is purple. It's like a purplish color, kind of like violet, but indigo, which would signify, your third eye. Your third eye deals with intuition, your inner essence, the internal God that lives within, that gut feeling, that intuition, But the next chakra, which would be violet, which would deal with the crown chakra, the halo. It deals with consciousness. Consciousness is an awareness, that awareness, that high awareness, you're not at the state of ignorance. Once you rapture from your low self, your root chakra, to your crown chakra, you're more at a higher state of awareness and less of ignorance, and the crown chakra, which is violet, it deals with consciousness and spirituality, and on the dual side of that, it deals with pride and humility, because humility is the opposite opposing force to spirituality, and pride is what, and ego is which promote humility. You humiliate people when you operate in a state of pride. Those are the 7 chakras, which correlate with the 10 sephirots, which would be, on the Hebrews tree of life, which correlates with the body, the temple, the host, the vessel, As above, so below. The macro prosophis is above, and the micro prosophis is below, because we are the microorganisms and the hosts of the Elohim. So the last series we did deals with the secrets of esoteric Christianity. So I'm basically trying to paint a picture of everybody knows the physical, the external exoteric concept of God, which just people take in a carnal mind physically. They take everything physically, but they never look at it from the other side, from within. This is where once you start looking into those forbidden books, those apocryphal books. Apocryphal is the Greek word for hidden. These are hidden books. There was a whole series of 14 condensed books that was in the 1611 Bible, which was later taken out by the Roman Catholic Church, And as the Bible states, it says in the book of Revelation, Revelation means revealing, same equivalent to apocalypse. Apocalypse means a great revealing, and it's a revival. It's showing you the things that are hidden. And in that book, it says anybody that adds into this book, I'm going to add into them the plagues in which I talked about in this book. Anybody that takes away from this book, I'm going to take away their portion from the book of life. So that being said, that this was already foretold that things like this were going to happen, and if you read the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, everything will answer itself. It's irrefutable and non-debatable, but people will still debate it, because once you're dealing with a bias, you want to focus on a specific category. You have to focus on it as a collective whole, even the parts you don't like. The Bible is a book that's made up of salvation. Churches mainly talk about salvation, but it also deals with judgments. These judgments deal with karma. Karma is on galactic cycles. The Mazzaroth, which is above the constellations, when certain planets are in retrograde or come together, you see this pattern. It creates a influence and energy upon the earth. That's where you get it, as above, so below. Everything has to happen above in the stars, and then it will happen below. Now, talking about the Mazzaroth and the constellations, like I told you before, there are sacred names for these planets. The 7 planets correlates with the 7 Elohas, the 7 days of the week. The first planetary name would be Shabbatai. Shabbatai deals with Saturn. Saturn correlates with Saturday. So each one of these planets correlates with a specific day of the week, just like the 7 days of creation in the book of Genesis, in Hebrew, which we would call Bereshith, which in the Anunnaki text and the Holy Tablets, it will say the generations of Isis, the genealogy of Isis. Because when you look at the name Israel, it signifies 3 names. Is for Isis, Ra deals with Soul Ra, the sun, the central, star in the universe, the plasma giver, the life bearer, the ether, that it produces, That's why the original man comes from Africa, which original name was Ethiopia. Ethiopia, comes from the word ether. Ethiopia people, children of the sun. Shemesh, So the first planetary name would be Shabbatai, that deals with this. Is where you get the saying Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat means peace. The day of rest. That's why we say that Shabbatai correlates with Saturday, and Saturn correlates with Saturday. Tezadek deals with Jupiter. Madem is Mars. Nogag would be Venus. Kokav would be Mercury. This is where I have Pinnacle Mercury, because that's my astrological influence. This is how I commune with my guardian angel, Mididel 36 on a chart. That comes around during the Virginis constellation. Kokav, and then you have Shemesh, which is the sun. Kind of sounds like Shem, children of light, children of El. And you have Lavana, which correlates with the moon, So back to the three names: Isis, Ra, and El. El short for Elohim. Elohim is plural, and it means more than one. It's a synchronization here. It's a collective consciousness. The universe is a collective consciousness, That's how God is able to be in multiple places at once. God is energy, God is a frequency. God is divine, That's why the sound vibrational frequency, when in the beginning things were spoken into existence. Let there be light, and there was light, Just like Moses, when he came off the mountain, they asked him basically, what is God? What is God talking about? He said, Haya Shah Haya means that I am that I am. But what they didn't quite comprehend was that God was working through him, just like he did through all the patriarchs and matriarchs throughout the Bible, as well as Jesus, Isha, Hamashiach, Yeshua, Yahushua, however you want to call him. It just means he is salvation. Just like Joshua in the Bible, in the Old Testament, his name meant salvation, because once Moses died, he continued the journey to take the Israelites to the promised land, to their salvation, their place of rest, Savior. So, now, we went through the sacred secrets of esoteric Christianity. Now we're going to start going through a series of the Akashic Records. The whole plan of what I'm doing is to show people how to use their inner essence, their inner power, their inner abilities. Just like I was just telling you guys about the chakras. Now I'm starting to learn more. The chakras have these sound vibrational frequencies. I'm only on the first two. Like the root chakra, it deals with Lam. The word lam, you say the long sound lam, and you do hand motions, because your body is technology and signal. So when you signal, you say lam. Then the next one would be the sacral chakra, would be vam, and then it goes on to ram. And what you do this is you position your body in a certain position. You say these sound vibrational frequencies, as you're in tune with yourself and your chakras. You become in tune with yourself, how you're feeling, your thought patterns, and you start thinking. This is how you tap into your spiritual God. People think that the angels, the etheric beings, come to them and actually speak words. They're actually speaking within. They're bringing you an enlightenment. You're opening up your mind. These Akashic records, this energy state, and certain things. Like I say all the time, praying is when you're talking to God. Meditating is when God is talking to you. So through these God is talking to you, opening up these records, this vast expansion of consciousness, at your higher self, your higher state of awareness, allowing you to see things for what they are, That's why, like in the Ten Commandments, it says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness." Because you bear false witness, you deprive yourself, because you're not being real with yourself. And if you're not being real with yourself, you cannot be real with anybody else. Nobody is perfect. So you have to take the good with the ugly. And you have to accept that. You have to basically, instead of looking at the wrong in so many others, you got to see the wrong in yourself. You got to see the good in yourself. You got to understand the cause and effect of why things are happening. A lot of times we don't know. But this is what the Akashic Records is going to start talking about. And this is where we're going to start off at. Chapter 2. Opening your Akashic Records. In each video I do, it's going to be based upon a chapter. So make sure you get your pen, your notepad, and take notes, because this is a key. This is a process. I want people, believe it or not, you already do it on a daily basis, but we don't know how to label and categorize all of our actions and why we do the things we do, but we do them. And this is going to show you that you tap into them on a regular, but once you know how to control the dynamics, the different dimensions and your inner self, things become a lot more easier. And then you start to get these abilities, like with Moses, also known as Moshe, all the way down to Noah. All the patriarchs would have talked about. Each one of these people, that's why their names, their Hashems, are so significant, because they were able to tap into it. Just like Jesus said, "I am in the Father, and the Father is in me." So he's basically telling you, I cannot perform none of these things unless I see what the Father does, because the Father is eternal. He was at that state of consciousness and awareness. So no further introduction, let's jump right into it. Chapter 2, Opening Your Akashic Records. This book is called the Akashic Records by Melissa Gomes. Akashic Records by Melissa Gomes. We're starting off at chapter 2. I already went through the chapter, highlighted the chapter, and to point out significant things to me, that things that I'm going to focus on, meditate on, and start to put into practice. Faith without works is dead. For one, you have to believe on things, and you have to work on things. You have to put these things into practice. You have to practice what you preach. And this is when things will start to happen for you. Chapter 2, Opening Your Akashic Records and Beginning Your Journey. Everyone has their Akashic Records. This is a knowing of the past, present, and the future that creates an individual's destiny and life plan. It is like having your inner GPS available to you at all times. Your Akashic Records are not dependent on what religion you believe in or any spiritual practice you may have engaged in your life. The records exist as pure energy information, systems outside of time and space. They are available to everyone who knows how to access them. So let's learn how to open your own Akashic Records and find out more about your life plan and destiny. If you open your own Akashic Records, you will be able to see specific information about yourself, as well as the life plans of other people. You will also be able to access the answer to any question you have in mind at this moment in time. The Akashic Records are a tool for self-discovery, personal and spiritual growth. Opening your doors. Akashic Records hold all knowledge that ever existed and will ever exist on this planet. Your record is a compilation of your personal history, including past life experience and each thought and intention you have ever generated in this lifetime, both good and bad intentions or thoughts. The Akashic Records exist across a vast space, which is known as the energy continuum. Understanding how to open your doors and connect to this field is a very important skill to master. If you know how to do it, you can use the energy of the Akashic Records as a source for healing yourself and others. The three main experiences you can have with opening your doors with Akashic Records are the following: to know, to heal, to spiritual practices. See, it says three main experiences. Experiences sound similar to experiments. Experiment is when you're experimenting on stuff and you learn the do's and don'ts, how it works through trial and error. Just like understanding the law, understanding, overstanding the law, of the judgments and the salvations, the do's and the don'ts, the blessings, the good fortunes, all the curses that come with it. So if you practice the law, it's similar to practicing the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records for knowing purposes. Knowing is the act of becoming conscious of what you know and how you know it. You know more than you consciously realize. Your Akashic Records hold a vast amount of information about your past, present, and future experiences. Knowing is not only about having facts or data, it's also about knowing what to do next. Your soul holds its wisdom that connects with the universal consciousness to bring the information you need for your life. Knowing is a transferable skill outside of your records. You can use it in your everyday life for personal and professional reasons and the well-being of others. Knowing is the act of gaining consciousness into what you know and how you know it. Learning how to connect with your Akashic Records through your soul's origin is a process of trust and requires learning to hear your truth. The Akashic Records are a divine faculty that will not make you dependent on them. They are in fact a tool for your divine empowerment. The more you use them, the more strength and clarity you build within yourself to utilize them in healing or any other life purpose. In many cases, the records will provide you with a direct answer to your question. You may be given words or images which will speak directly to the issue you asked about, along with verification of its truthfulness. In other situations, you may be shown a symbol, such as an object or animal representing an event in your past and causing blockages in your spiritual growth. Learn about the symbols that you see. Ask your guide or facilitator to tell you anything about them, which can help illuminate their meanings to you. I find it helpful to write down what I am being shown so that I won't forget it later on. Discovering and understanding why these blocks exist will provide insight as to how they can be cleared. For example, if you are shown a symbol of an animal that represents your past life, this may mean that you have carried some of the negative attributes from that life into your current one. This means it is now time to recognize these qualities within yourself and begin to heal them in this lifetime. The Akashic Records for healing purposes. The Akashic Records can be used for healing purposes. The records hold all knowledge about every illness and its healing, so that you can find the best remedy for your physical body and soul, as well as to support others in their healing process. When you tap into the Akashic Records using a trained medium means a mediator, a balancer in between the two worlds, that knows how the things go above and also below. The mediator is the kind of the concept of Jacob's ladder, the in between, above and below, Aum Tat Sat, the absolute, as above, so below. You know, the duality of all things. The cosmos to nature, the masculine to the feminine, and so on and so on. When you tap into the Akashic Records using a trained medium, you are guided by divine intelligence on how to heal yourself or help another person heal. The Akashic Records will guide you to the information you need for whatever health problem is in front of you. Healing must be approached in a way that looks at all aspects of your life, including your emotional and mental state, as well as any physical disorder that are presenting themselves. For example, if you have an injury or disease, you must look at your lifestyle to determine what is causing the imbalance. If you have had a string of bad relationships in your life, it's time to rethink why this is happening and how you can change the pattern. There are many ways to experience this healing. Since each person is different, the healing methods will be unique as well. You may find that you can heal a particular issue by talking about it with someone else who has had a similar experiences. In other instances, your body will clear an energy blockage through illness or physical discomfort such as recurring headaches, nausea, and etc. You know, this is basically showing you, you know, the Jesus healing powers. You know, Jesus, Issa, Yeshua, Yahushua, Hamashiach. You know, he said in the Bible, he said, you will be able to perform the things in which I have and even work greater wonders. But you have to become a disciple. You have to become disciplined. Discipline yourself. Learn these things. Study till you show yourself approved. The Akashic Records for spiritual practices. The Akashic Records are also used for spiritual purposes, including prayer, meditation, divination, and personal worship. For example, when you pray using the Akashic Records as your divine tool, you can ask to be guided directly by the universe itself. You know, it is important to note that you are not worshiping the Akashic Records themselves, but rather the universal mind in which they exist, the infinite intelligence of all things. Using your spiritual practice with your Akashic Records is one way to connect with the universal mind. The Akashic Records offer a non-denominational and holistic door of access to your spiritual side. You can use it for whatever spiritual practice you need, including worshiping your divine being in whatever form they take for you. You can also use your Akashic Records for divination practices to clarify which course of action you should take in a particular situation. The Akashic Records also aid your practice of meditation. You can clear space within yourself by using the record's divine energy to increase your self-awareness and transform pain, anger, or grief from past experiences into a vibration that supports any number of positive meditation practices. The Akashic Records can be used in many ways for different purposes. As you learn how to work within the records, you will attract information and healing relevance to your life purpose. In the end, it is about consciousness, being aware of what's happening within yourself or around you at any given moment. You can consider the records as a tool to support you in being more aware when confusion or a lack of trust arises, which we all experience at different times. Who is your Akashic Record guide? When you learn how to open and use the records, you will find yourself surrounded by a team of spirit guides who are available at all times to help you when you ask for assistance. Your guide will always be present to support you, but they can only see what's relevant to your life. So, not all guides will work with you constantly. This is why it is important to focus on the knowledge that comes from within yourself. when using the records. You may need to develop a good relationship with your intuition or inner wisdom to access the records for yourself fully. You can contact your guide when you are ready to start using the Akashic Records, as they will be able to help you begin your journey through them. They may meet you at a specific location within or surrounding the records, but it is also possible that there isn't any concrete structure involved in your initial contact. That makes sense? However, to access your records, Akashic Records are all around you because all things are energy, and the records contain everything that has ever happened, is happening, or will happen. This means that you can access the information contained within them from many different locations. You don't need to travel to a specific place like Stonehenge or the pyramids in Egypt to get information from your records. Some people access their records while they're asleep, others while they are praying, still others when they meditate. There is no one right way to go about it. Your records are available at any time, and you'll be able to connect to them using your intuition and inner wisdom. You can access your records consciously by taking time out of your busy schedule once a day to sit quietly with yourself, or you can access the records while you are sleeping. If this interests you, I suggest trying it both ways and see what works best for you, based on how you can feel more connected to your records. From my experience, meditating as a part of my spiritual practice is the best way for me to access information from the records, but it could be different for you, and that's okay. Opening your Akashic Records is a powerful way to heal and grow, but you must learn how to work within them for this process to be fruitful. Your guide will help teach you more about the records and what information they contain from any place at any time. Spiritual practices like meditation are an excellent tool for opening up communication with your guides and learning how best to access your Akashic Records. To open your Akashic Records, you need the following. Agreements. Agreements are a series of statements that guide and define when and how the Akashic Records are open. They help you understand what you are seeing, feeling, experiencing as it pertains to the records. Agreements explain what is happening when you are in these altered states of consciousness, and they offer direction to ensure that your experience remains safe for yourself and others around you. Agreements give structure within the record so that you can react appropriately to the information that is given to you from them. They ensure that what you see, hear, and feel during your journey through the records is relevant without causing you stress or trauma. Agreements help you learn how to focus on healing yourself instead of turning your attention towards others who are in need of assistance. This aspect of healing within the Akashic Records is crucial to your capacity for self-healing. Agreements allow you to work with other people while keeping your healing a private matter between you, your records, and your God. You can have relationships with others while still maintaining the integrity of the information that comes to you from within your records, and keep your guides anonymous. Next, visualization. Visualization is a basic set of instructions that visually guides you to the Akashic Records entrance. It creates a safe place to visit from which you can approach the records. From this point, you can learn more about your guides and request that they begin working with you in other types of healing meditations or healing sessions. Visualization is also required to enter the Akashic Records because it creates an environment in which your guide can enter into the records with you to explore the information that comes forward in a safe way for both of you. Visualization helps you feel relaxed and centered before opening your records. If you are anxious or excited, it will be hard for your guides to help you find what they need to guide you into healing yourself. Visualization ensures that you are centered before moving into the records. Visualization helps create an atmosphere within which your guides can prepare and program new information about how to heal yourself through your record. Visualization puts all of the necessary pieces in place before you ask your guides to start working with you. Visualization is a specific action that takes time and patience to master. You must be willing to sit with things for a while before learning how to enter your record seamlessly. Visualization is also an excellent tool for anchoring a given memory or healing session so that upon your return from the journey within the records, you have something physical that will help you remind you of what has happened. Visualization allows you to focus in a specific way that communicates to your guides that you are ready for them to begin working with you. Blessings. Blessings is words of intention. Blessings is key. Believe it or not, you can give blessings, Baruch people, just like Isaac, Jacob, just like Isaac blessed Jacob, being that, he took the birthright, blessings have happened all throughout the Bible, because being that God is eternal, it's basically your state of awareness, your intentions and righteous intent, which allows you to give these blessings, because it is truth, light, and love, and you speaking these things into existence because there's power and life and death in the tongue. Blessings is words of intention for your Akashic Records entry and experience. They are specific words spoken from the heart, remember that heart chakra, to set the stage for your record journey. When you bless an area or object, you create a field of energy used to guide and protect what is called into your awareness. Blessings prepares your records for the work ahead with them by offering protection and guidance so that they can be more effective as a healing method for you. The blessings will help ensure that the information that comes into your consciousness during your records journey is related only to healing in some way and not scattered all over the place. Taking time to bless what is about to happen opens you energetically so that you can begin to receive healing guidance from within the Akashic Records. Blessings help to focus your intention to have an immediate sense of calm, peace, and which helps you feel less fear regarding the journey ahead. Using formal wording for entering into the Akashic Records will ensure that you maintain a sense of safety and trust in what is about to happen. It also provides direction, protection, and security for information in the records that might otherwise come forward as scattered or unrelated thoughts. Blessings also help you to be energetic, calm, and centered before you enter into your records. Blessings open you to receiving the guidance of a healing nature during your records journey so that it is easier for you to know what kind of healing you need. Blessings help you release your expectations regarding your Akashic Records journey and set the stage for clear thinking. Once you are in the experience, it also helps protect your records from absorbing any negative energy that might accidentally be brought into the healing environment by attaching itself onto an individual who is present with you when you are in the records. Process. The process for opening your Akashic Records is based on your agreement. The methods you use combining visualization and blessings. The process begins with an opening statement to release any expectations that you may have. Once that is completed, the second part of the process involves a request for open records, followed by an attunement for healing communications between you and your guides before entering your records. You must be willing to let go of expectations to experience opening your records fully. You must also be willing to trust what happens when you work with the records. Trust and letting go to enable to allow guidance from within your records to come into your consciousness without interference from what is taking place around you. Opening your records requires you to have a relaxed state of body, mind, and spirit when working with them. You cannot force yourself into an agreement or use negative thinking to breach them. In fact, you cannot open your records if there is any negative thought in your mind at the time you try to do so. You must be willing to let go of thoughts that may arise and trust that they are being cared for by your guides while you work with both of them in unison through an atonement for communication. Opening your records requires you to have an ability to focus and desire to enter into the experience. It is necessary for you to feel emotionally stable, grounded within yourself, energetically and clear with intent before entering into open records method. Do not use opening the records when you are tired or for a specific reason. Simply enter into the records when you feel good, as this allows your guides to work with you in a better way and enable you to be clear for information within them. Salah, so be it. All praise to the Most High. Like, share, and subscribe. That was chapter 2 of the Akashic Records. How you open the records, and each day, when I got time, because I've been working lately, between working out, reading multiple books and studying, trying to make videos and so on and so on, it's a lot. So, I'm trying to put this information out as soon as possible. So like, share, subscribe, take notes. You got any questions, ask. But as you can see from the beginning of this video, everything I said, these is things that I've been putting into practice over the last 2-3 years. Learning all the chakras, learning all the sephirots, learning all the sounds. I'm into learning the movements and stuff now. Connecting these things. Learning how to pray, learning how to bless, learning how to use nature. It's a lot to this stuff, but it's pretty simple, it's pretty simple, you just gotta get past the distraction, just like I tell people all the time, the truth is in the consistency and pattern. You have to watch your own consistency and pattern, and you have to monitor your daily process, because every little thing you do is adding up to something bigger. You might not see it now, but in time, space, and matter, things will accumulate and things will come together and things will start to become favorable for you, Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, Knowledge, the more you know, the more you can do, You open your consciousness, That wisdom, from experience, trial and error, The wisdom, understanding, understanding, overstanding the do's and the don'ts, learn from other people's mistakes, and understanding is basically, like I say all the time, it's an understatement, but it deals with comprehension, putting the components together, those little pieces, all little pieces, or different minerals, different herbs, everything comes together. You are a creator, so these Akashic Records help you find what works and what doesn't work, all these people that come up with these big inventions, figure these things out for the greater good of humanity, or they say so, but we know how that goes. But it's all about you, your righteous intent, and where it takes you. You know, can't worry about what other people is doing. You know, worry about you and start using your tools. You have your own tools to be that carpenter, to be that builder, to be that engineer under the hacker. You know, those mathematics. You are technology. You know, like I say all the time, you are a device. You are a device, a host, a temple, a vessel. You are connected to source. You know, the source is the router box. You know, everything in between is the ether. Those Wi-Fi signals you don't see. So it's happening all around you. You know. Now, just like a computer has its programming and it corrects itself, it has multiple functions, multiple apps. It's the same way, those energy fields in your body. You have to learn how to control them, you know. You got to start using these tools, you know. We are technology. We are energy, you know. Our minds are the biggest weapon on the planet, you know. It ain't no physical object, you know. It's about knowing, opening your consciousness, expanding your consciousness. Salah, so be it. I'm out. Love y'all.